in South Africa about young people is about establishing their place in society as opposed to their role. So what's the distinction between the place of a young person and the role of a young person? If we think about the discussions around, for instance, the national the youth wage subsidy, The youth wage subsidy is a wonderful idea for some, not for everyone. But it's an idea about saying, how do we get young people jobs? Everybody wants that. We know what the statistics are. We know what the issues are. We know what the challenges are. The problem is that all it does is it places young people into the economy. It says that we need to find a place where young people can be active in the economy. But it tells us nothing about what role young people will play once they are there. And we find that young people in this country do not understand what their role is. They are often used as vehicles, they are often used as placeholders, they are often used as symbols of development happening in our country, as opposed to addressed and spoken to with the kind of respect and reverence that says you have a role that you need to play. And so what Youth Lab is an organization and a think tank that's trying to plug that gap. What we're trying to do is create spaces where ordinary young South Africans, everyday young South Africans, and by that I do not mean the kind of people who end up in these rooms, because we know by virtue of being in these rooms we already are not the ordinary everyday young South African. But we want to create platforms where ordinary young South Africans get to speak to people who walk the corridors of power, whether it's other young people in their own age groups and age cohorts who are getting to speak to business leaders and getting to speak to government, or whether it's government leaders themselves and business leaders themselves who are making decisions, who are creating policies, and who are carving a role for young people in this country without ever directly addressing them. And we believe that's a huge gap. And it's a